Good morning, YouTube. And welcome to What the Papers Didn't Say with me, Deek Jackson, on Sunday, September the 13th, 2020. This will be the last What the Papers Didn't Say. I know I've been saying I'm not going to do What the Papers Say for a couple of days, but I thought I would, Chad, good morning, I thought I would finish at a natural end, as it were, a natural break. And so What the Papers Didn't Say seemed like as good as any. My plan is to do more of an evening What the Media Say fucking news style thing from the nice warm confines of my home, since winter is coming, to quote the Game of Thrones. Ollie just chiming in there. Ollie would like to go home and have his breakfast, so let's be brief. What the papers didn't say about the US election is it doesn't matter who you vote for. It doesn't. And on both sides of that electoral divide in America, Robert Douglas, good morning, there appear to be people entertaining some kind of delusion. In heated political debates across the debatosphere of the internet, people are putting forward various ideas about both candidates as if they represent some kind of better option. You know, an improvement over. Oh, Biden will be better than Trump. This is like the difference between Drano and arsenic, folks. Oh, arsenic would be better than Trump. I prefer to die frothing at the mouth in violent convulsions. No, I prefer to have my eyes roll back in my head and my stomach come out my arse. Oh, Trump is better than Biden. No, Biden's better than Trump. Really? Trump, he says, is, the candidate of law and order. He wishes to make sure that America is safe from crims and violent thuggery, which is why he's totally in bed with the right-wing Christians. And their version of law and order is to take away your rights to abortion and to make you salute Jesus whilst standing in front of a flag of the Star of David, I believe. That's my humble opinion. These people are crackpot, psychopathic fucktards, and Donald Trump has sold his penis to them. He sold his dick to them, and with it he is fucking you with the dick of right-wing Christian ideology, in the desperate hope that somebody will make Donald president again, because Donald deserves to be president, because he's Donald. Biden, on the other hand, Biden, it's the economy. Biden will get you into more debt. Biden will get you into more debt than your wife who's hooked on credit cards. He really will. His version is that he is the candidate who is against Donald Trump's handling of the virus. That if he had handled the virus, it would be so much better for you, America. Yes, there would be more draconian laws. There would be more debt. There would be more fiscal spending. There would be more government for you to labor under. And there would be more intrusion into your life in order to deal with the virus. Joe Biden, the candidate who is better than Drano. Okay, and what else wasn't in the newspapers? There was a piss deal with Israel by Bahrain and the United Arab Emirates. And this is against the backdrop of Israel cementing globally with various people, including the people who make maps at Google and Apple, that there's no such place as Palestine, and that Israel is Israel. Its entire cohesive border, going back to whenever, is Israel. And they're claiming some historical, that this is historically a fact, that Israel is Israel. But I read the Bible. It was a long time ago, but I also did geography at school. And the Romans captured and conquered and ruled Palestine, not Israel. But I digress, because it really doesn't fucking matter what you call the area of earth upon which you live. America, thanks to Donald Trump, has, facilitated Israel's claim to Palestine, and so it's a done deal. And I'm only mentioning this because years ago in the fucking news I said Israel's going to take over the whole of Palestine and we're going to watch and not give a fuck. So, big it up for Deek, who can see the future with an almost clairvoyant accuracy. Brexit in the UK. What's not in the papers is what happens in those negotiations. And I mentioned on at least one occasion, the greatest error. I'm all for people having a homeland. I am. I think people should all have homelands. All individuals should have land for their home. That's what I'm for. I'm for me having land for my home and you having land for your home, and the government fucking right off. Governments are nothing but mafia bandit tyrants. There's not a single border on earth that wasn't created by force and isn't kept in place by force. What a border says is, the people in here, they're our rubes, our marks, our cattle, our scum, and we're going to milk them and fuck them as we see fit. That's what a border says. If you were feeling patriotic about your homeland, what you're basically saying is, this is where I like to be fucked in the ass and suck the cock of lies. I don't feel comfortable anywhere else taking it in the ass and sucking a cock of lies. But right here within the confines of this internationally agreed border, which was settled by a meeting of mafia cunts in a place called the United Nations. Jews could get a piece of Greenland. Man, you could put Palestine in Ranachmoor in Scotland. Nobody could find it. You could put the entire population of Palestine on Ranachmoor and nobody would go there because it's wet and dull and featureless. Anyway, moving on. Brexit for the British. Britain for the British. What's not in the papers about Brexit is the horse trading. I'm sure, as eggs are eggs, that both sides, Europe and Britain, have agendas which are not in the newspapers. And the one that's mostly not in the newspapers, from Boris Johnson and his friends' point of view, is protecting our offshore money laundering, wash the mafia's criminal money business. Because that is essentially what Britain is. Britain's your offshore crim home. Come to Britain, put your money offshore, leave it outside the door. Come to Britain, pay no taxes, live in a giant penthouse in London, keep all your money in the Cayman Isles or Gibraltar or somewhere, and relax, take in a show. Go to one of Jamie Oliver's franchises. It's great here. The police don't have guns, and you can keep all your money. And so no oversight by European central banks shall be allowed. The Europeans, on the other hand, they're desperate for the fish. Nobody has more fish in Europe than the fishing waters of Britain, and they desperately want them. And I'm sure there's some horse trading going on. Personally, I think no deal is a deal. No deal for me is the deal. I voted for that deal. I voted to leave Europe completely and utterly and have them have nothing to do with me, so I don't have to march to Strasbourg with a pitchfork and shove it up their asses. The migrant crisis, froth and foam and waves crashing on the beach. A certain strand of Britain's media would have you believe the only people coming to Britain are those 20 people a day landing in dinghies in Kent. Well, meanwhile, 230,000 people land in aeroplanes in Britain from India, Pakistan, various places in Africa, etc., blah, blah, blah. Britain's population is increasing by nearly 250,000 migrants a year. And so you have to wonder what the froth about the beach landings is. And I think it's got more to do with maintaining a lack of sympathy for people who are fucked. Because there are 230 million refugees on Earth trying to get away from some shit. And a lot of them would like to come to Europe, not just Britain. I think Britain pats itself on the back too much. I've been to Europe and I've met a lot of people who are on the move, and a lot of them would like to go to Sweden or Germany, where, the hospitals work and the roads are clean. So perhaps the people who want to come to Britain, like the Queen or our flag, whatever. But Europe is definitely a destination for people fleeing shit. And we don't want them to come here. We don't want them to come here because they're only the tip of the iceberg. And due to climate change, hundreds more millions are coming or wanting to come. And we want them to die where they are. So you have to become inured to the plight of humanity in a way. Yes, indeed, climate refugees. And that brings me swiftly to the end of what was not in the papers. And the final thing that was not in the papers was climate change, which was in the papers. Climate change was in the papers in the melting of Greenland, the wildfires in America, the failure of crops in Britain and other places. But it was also on the internet, and it was also in my show. Folks, I can't believe that I am still having to deal with climate retards. So let me paint you a picture of your life in my world. You get one chance to stay alive on my YouTube page or news feed or comment section. You explain the greenhouse effect in your own words, and then you mount a scientific argument as to why it doesn't work and isn't having an effect, or you fuck off. And I have recently muted, deleted, and blocked several people who were offered the chance to do that, and they did not, because I have no intention of spending any of my life debating with total fucking morons. You can claim that somehow I'm infringing your freedom of speech, but I'm not. This is my channel, and it's my rules. You had your chance. If you pushed my bell and you didn't come up with the greenhouse effect articulation, then fuck you and fuck off. And anybody else who's planning to try and debate with me climate change, I am not debating climate change. I am expressing my views on climate change. I don't get dressed up and poop this shit out so that, I can argue with morons. I'm here to have my say. If you disagree, let me give you some advice. Go and make a video. I won't watch it. I won't leave a stupid comment that reveals me to be a total fucking idiot that can't avail myself of Google to check my own runny, hot, steamy pish as to whether or not it is hot, runny, steamy pish. There you go. So, if you find you've disappeared from my channel, fuck you. You had your fucking chance, you fucking moron. Now fuck off. And if you think I might be unpleasant or unnecessarily vitriolic in this matter, then I suggest you weigh up the gravity of what has been done, in my opinion. I suggest you try and live where I am for a moment. Try and see it from my point of view. Let me paint you a picture. Humanity is on a train. The train's on fire. It's traveling at 500 miles an hour towards a solid cliff wall. And there are people on board who are telling me there is no fire and the solid wall is fake. Now, for everybody else on the train and headed towards the cliff, that sows seeds of confusion and doubt. And they start to wonder if there is a train, if there is a fire, and if there is a cliff. And that stops them fixing the shit. You see? So anybody who I come close to, or who comes close to me, who proposes there's no fire, there's no train, and there's no cliff, better have a real fucking good explanation as to why not. Or fuck off. Some people even tell me that we should all get comfortable. Yeah, gas mask. I don't mind if people don't understand the climate. Knowing what you don't know is one thing. Telling me that you know shit when you don't is another. And obviously, I am steeped in the law and science of climate change. I have never, ever, ever, ever heard climate pish I have not already dismissed, familiarized myself with, double-checked, Googled, and dismissed. So if you can come up with some new climate pish that I've never heard, I'll give you £20. If you can successfully mount an argument against the function of the greenhouse effect in our atmosphere, I'll give you £20. And if you can't, and you don't, at your first invitation to, I will give you the bum's fucking rush. The planet's fucked. It's your fault. And it's getting worse. Have a nice week. I will see you throughout the week if you're not some climate retard moron fuck. Or if you are and you just keep your mouth shut about your bizarre sexual proclivities, then we'll get along fine. Otherwise, I'll be doing the fucking news some evening this week, and I may be doing some white van man stuff on my travels. I'm going to take the dog home and feed him, and then I'm going to have a great day. I hope you do too. Until next time, so long and thanks for all the fish.